Namaste, hi, welcome to Kaapi and Conversation. Yeah, Kaapi and Conversation, like I always mention in all the show. I always feel a soulful connect with the word Kaapi or with coffee for that matter. I know a couple of them wrote to me, Meera, don't forget chai, yeah, please. Chai is a sibling of coffee. Why do you keep forgetting chai? So I'll say chai ko kaise bhul sakte hain? I mean, that's a connect we all have coffee or a chai or any beverage for that matter, whether you take it with a milk or without a milk. But yes, there is some connect each of these beverage give us. How did I come up with Kaapi is something I'm not going to be sharing here today. But there is something that I want to share is when I take a cup of a coffee or a Kaapi for that matter, something happens. Nothing around me changes, neither do I change for that matter. I think we really need to accept that fact also. But what we do is we create that little space for ourselves in our mind, or at least we grab a corner wherever we are, sip a coffee, and then we feel, okay, let me get back to the work. It's just all about leading our life within those brackets. Sometimes outside the bracket, we will be wondering, what do I do? Can I really deal with the situation that I'm currently in? Can I really face such people? Or can I really take my idea into an outcome? Can I create that brand which all have been talking about? For all these things, I might not have an answer. Neither does the coffee or a chai has. But a sip of a coffee, that little space, that little time for ourselves will help us to deal with whatever is happening around it. We just roll up our sleeves and say, chalo, let's get onto the floor and get the job done. So when you see here on my screen today, I have beautiful ladies. I'm sure people who are watching this podcast, listening to this podcast on YouTube can definitely see all of them. People, those of you who are listening on the podcast channel, just wait. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm going to be inviting, what do I call them, a tribe? Do I call energy? Do I call friends? Or do I just call them cohort? No, it's beyond all. It's energy packed Shakti. Welcome, Vinya, Gayatri, Ananya, Prasanna, and Susan. Welcome to Kaapi and Conversation.
Hi.
Hi,
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 Meera.
Meera.
Hi,
Wonderful to
Meera.
be
Thank you for
here.
having us, Meera.
Pleasure is mine. So nice, so beautiful to see all of you. I mean, all of us together on one screen. Let me just add a little bit of, what do I say, a note or an introduction just before this introduction. How did I meet this beautiful soul? Okay, we all are part of WSP, yeah, Women Startup Program by NSRCEL IIMB. When I'm quoting these names, no, we are not talking about branding or any of these things. We wish to say that this is the place where we all met. This is the place we didn't just meet to say a hi. We didn't just meet to say, hey, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Can you help me out? No, it is just going beyond that. So that's the kind of a connect I share with all of them over here. I so wish we can bring 200 more people on this screen. I'm sure even that could happen someday. But as of now, we have 5 of us joining on the Kaapi and Conversation Connect. So I would love to, introduce each of them to you all. So Vinya, if you can just give us a brief about what you do, and that'd be really nice. People would love to know.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Vinya. I started something called Fingerprints Learning Collective. I'm basically an educator. I also work a lot with children with disabilities. And I think my mission in life is to really think of my own potential, to bring it forth to the world, and to bring the stories of many, many unseen people, who might be stopping themselves because of their own labels. And it's lovely to be here with you, Meera, and with the wonderful ladies.
Lovely. Nice to know that. Gayatri?
Hey everyone, it's a privilege to be here with all of you. I am Gayatri Vamsi, founder CEO of Buzzing Bees, where we are raising readers and enabling parents to raise readers. And Literacy Bees is where English is simplified. Thank you, Meera.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gayatri. Ananya, hi.
Hi, Meera. Hi. So, we've spoken about children. We've spoken about
stories and reading. I am the quintessential story queen, and I'm the founder publisher of Kia's Kitaba. Formerly, we were Kitaba Publications. We bring stories to life and life to stories. So that's what we do. We, our major domain is we're into books. We're into writing short form and long form content for films, web series, other OTT snippets that we do these days. So yes, a lot of stories, a lot of conversations, definitely a lot of Kaapi. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks a bunch. Thanks a bunch. So, Susan, hello.
Hi. Hey, Meera. Thank you for having us. So I'm Susan, and I'm the founder of Goodness Project. So Goodness Project is good skin and hair naturally. So we make skincare and hair care that smells delicious, heavenly. And I've always had this will to do good. So every one of my ingredients is natural, safe, sustainable, indulgent, luscious, all the adjectives that you could add to lovely skin.
Nice to know. Let's invite Prasanna now. Hey,
Yeah,
Prasanna.
yeah, hi. Thank you, Meera. So, like all the beautiful ladies here, I think there's one thing that I have in common with all of them, that is passion. I'm very, very passionate about doing good, Susan, and about the concept of lifelong learning. And that's been something that's been driving me for the last 2 or 3 decades that I've been both a student as well as someone working in the corporate space. So what I'm doing with the Idea Tribe is building a global skill-driven movement, that's focused on helping young people bridge the employability skill gap. So one thing that I'm very clear about is I want this to be a global company, and I want this to impact as many young people as possible. So that's where the drive and the passion is coming from at my end.
So nice, so nice. Such a beautiful story I got to hear from each of you about what you do, why you do, how you do. And there's something like, a common thread, that thread that goes, which is uniform in all the beats is that passion, that drive, that energy. Okay, energy. I mean, energy, I'm not going to define as per physics or science terminology. Okay. Though I really did my bit to by heart what is energy, acceleration, or force, F is equal to ma. All these things are something, yes, I definitely, like many of you did, even I also did my best. But how, as a child, if you would have asked me to define energy, I would say just everything, like just like a child, when you ask a child, because I still remember somebody asked me what is energy. I think during my school days, I had my seniors who were, I think they were in some eighth or something, and that time they were reading a lot about talking about physics in the army bus we used to travel to in the school. And I was in the second or third, and they were telling energy, define energy. And I said, energy. I still remember. So energy is that, it just comes out. It just comes out. Either you feel happy within, or else you pass that energy to the people next to you. And it creates a vibration. It creates an impact. It creates that drive for them also to do something. It gives them the confidence, because we all are that normal human who still live, though we speak about, I don't need validation for what I do. But still somewhere unconsciously, whatever we do, we just look for someone, or we just look for something, or we just at least, ask our own self, "Ye theek hai kya?" We just try to validate. And energy is something beyond all these things. And do you want to say in our Indian language what we can say energy as?
Obvious, Shakti.
Shakti.
Yeah. So I'll give a countdown 3 to 1, and let's say that together. You're
Sure.
in 3, 2, 1.
Shakti.
Absolutely. So Shakti, energy. I mean, to me, it is everything. Shakti is is in a mother's love to her child. Shakti is from a teacher to a child. When they teach a concept, the child takes that, gives it back in the form, not necessarily the marks, but at least the concept is there. So much you can do. That's it. Shakti isn't when, for example, somebody gives life to that idea that they have parked it somewhere in the childhood. It is rusting over there. You give that, you breathe into that idea, bring it back, and you give life to it. It is Shakti. Shakti isn't when we see the trees dancing to the breeze. Shakti isn't everything. Without Shakti, we are not here. Bhumi is Shakti. I always say, for example, like when we do our prayers, the five elements are the Shakti. If we can say thanks to this 5 elements every day, it's something like we are saying Shakti, Shakti, Shakti every day. Energy, the power. Okay, coming back to Shakti, how I'm connecting over here to the viewers or the listeners. So, Prasanna, I think I'm going to pull you here.
Yeah.
We spoke about Shakti. We spoke about words. So, how do you connect words and Shakti?
I've always believed in the power of words, both written as well as spoken, So as I was, all my life, I've told myself, because I'll just give you an example, when I was brought up by parents that would be considered to be, how do you say, as liberal as possible, right? So I remember my mother and my father always telling me that you're the best. Those are very simple words, but they defined who I thought I was, and who I think I am. And then I started working in an environment where it's predominantly male. I remember sitting through, performance reviews with it, the guy in front of me would tell me, you should be thinking more like a man if you want to succeed, And I would look at him and I would say, well, I'm me, I don't think of men as a monolith. And I definitely don't connect with, the fact that I should want to, align to certain characteristics that he was placing on the table. So I've always felt that, that the words have such power, so words are Shakti. So what we tell ourselves, what we tell our children, what we tell each other is so important, right? And that's really what it means to me.
Absolutely. Words have that power. Okay, let me now gonna ask our quintessential queen. There you are, Ananya.
Yeah.
Now we know that words have that power, right? If I ask you, I'm gonna give you like a garland of words.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a gift to you. What would you do with those words?
Weave stories. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing. I'd probably take away from them or maybe add a couple more, but definitely it's going, whatever is going to come out is going to be beautiful. And there's going to be like, I'm taking from what Prasanna said, words definitely have magic and words create, imagine the world without language.
So true.
Imagine the world without words.
Definitely. I'm going to take this now and connect with Vinya. Vinya, words, Shakti, then our quintessential queen added that bit of element of, creating that story. And to you, what that story means?
To me, it's everything about intention, Meera. I think intention is when you have the right intention and, the world just figures out a way to support it. So I'll just share a very quick story here. I'll make it very fast. So I've always wanted to do special ed since the time I knew about it, right? And I was attending this conference. It was a 2-week conference. And usually I used to go to all these conferences in the US thinking I'll come back and bring all this information back. So I used to attend as much as possible and I'll get all this information. So I was sitting in the airport waiting to go back and I'm dreaming of like hosting a conference in India and people coming and saying, oh my God, this was so helpful. I get into this flight. It was a very small flight. I roll up the window and something golden falls on my lap. Okay. And I get scared because this was at bomb threat time. And I thought, oh my gosh, is this like some bomb or something? I got so scared. And then I called the flight attendant and I said, hey, this just came from the window. I don't know what this is. And she said, oh my God, you're so lucky. And she called the others. Everyone came and stood around me. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? She said, a child with cerebral palsy was sitting in that seat before me. And the child left it for the next passenger. And
Oh,
I was like, oh my God, it just felt like a gift from the universe. So to this day, when I have personal doubts or when I have a setback, I always think of that unknown child and of all the children that, I can do something for. So I think intention is what brings power. Thanks.
so true. Intention.
Beautiful.
Connect that word intention. But before that, like I always mention, our show, Kaapi and Conversation, or the dinosaur, or the words that keeps roaring within me. I always say the vulnerable side is something which surfaces. When it comes, show it to the people. Because how long will people see the face, only the mask, and the face behind that mask gets hidden? Because when we hit it on that intention, when we hit it on that, I know I'm not going to tell that word, Mira, don't say that. I'm telling that to myself. Yes, we know what we are doing and we just go with the flow. And also to the listeners and the viewers, this particular Kaapi and a Conversation show, we bring conversation which is in terms, real when people are sharing. Whatever is the environment, whatever you get to hear as a background, take that as a background score, because we don't believe in going back again and again, editing and removing, because we love to have them fauna, flora, everything around us when we have this conversation. And we definitely like that word intention, what you shared. So from words to story, then story to intention, and then we are going to ask Gayatri, like, how would you connect intention?
See, Mira, for me, intention is universe. So if universe tends to send you a message, like, it is intending you to do some, contribution to it, it will give you that signals. Like, as I always say, I'm a mother who turned, like, you always meet mothers who say that they given up their careers, or they've given up their passion, or whatever they wanted to, because they became a mother. Today, I'm sitting here as one among you all as an entrepreneur, only because I'm a mother. Because whatever I do in Buzzing Bees or Literacy Bees is something that I have learned for my children. As a parenting coach, today I call myself a parenting coach because I'm a mother. I wanted to become a better parent. I wanted to raise myself as a human being before I raise my children. That gave me a platform today to call myself as an entrepreneur, or give a term as career in my life. This is, intention for me. This is universe that intended something for me, because H4 life in the US actually would have killed me if not for volunteering that I used to do with few organizations that gave me an opportunity or a thought to homeschool my children. Because of homeschooling and volunteering and returning back to India gave me career. So, 16 years of being a homemaker, who would have thought I will be incubated at IIM Bangalore?
I mean,
That is the universal intention, or that God had some plan for me when he sent me to the US on H4.
so,
Yes.
so true, because intention, when we know what our intention, what is that we want to do, universe definitely gives it back. And we don't know when that happens, but that will definitely happen as the belief. And that's how we all are here. That's how we all of us are connected, and it's so beautiful. And I'm gonna now ask Susan. Now, just to give a backdrop, yeah, we started with the words to the story to the intention to going, to Gayatri's story about, how the universe gave back what she was, asking, or do I say what she was intending about, that intention that we had. How would you connect all these now?
So I've connected with the last bit that's missing in this, which is the emotion. So the emotion in all this is important, because ultimately we circle back to the emotion to it. Whether it's words, whether it's intention, whether it's anything that happens around it, it's the emotion that ties it together. And I'll bring it back to Shakti also, because for me, as a person, I see Shakti as something that is, the emotion also, as well as the power that it gives, right? So Shakti is there in the words, it's there in the emotion in it also. So, and the emotion behind it for me is usually the emotional resilience that we've been showing, right? So as women, we are very, very high on that. And we've got that ability to handle anything that life throws at us. Maybe because we've been handling kids, those of us who've been handling kids, and those of us who've been handling marriage, God bless us all. So that's so yeah, that builds a lot of emotional resilience. We kind of become resilient because we've been
So sorry, I mean, it's so true. We all just started laughing. Yes, Susan, yes.
I bet
Yeah,
that's
so
where all the breathing exercises have come from, in yoga.
yeah, count to 10. I learned my numbers better this way.
Yes, Susan, you were adding, yeah.
So yeah, so that's Shakti, the emotional resilience that comes, when you're able to build that emotional resilience, the ability to handle things that come to you. That is power.
Absolutely, absolutely. Such a beautiful weave that I see in front of me. I just, wish Ananya would take all this and put it into the, publishing side and say, hey, there is a book, end of this podcast. Here it is. I just wish we have such magic happening. So, Shakti, yes.
You never know. You never know.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Meera, watch out what you're asking. Universe will give you what you're asking.
Yes.
Absolutely. So beautiful. So Shakti is, like just adding that little bit of remember when you go for a morning walk or something, you will see in a couple of places 10 to 20 people over there. They will be just laughing, ha ha ha, the laughing exercise, right? I mean, we just had a few minutes back, and that's that's a real laughing exercise. I would rather say that. Thanks, Susan. So connecting with the Shakti element. I mean, it is just not element. It is something like a space, or it's universe, or it's everything for that matter. A Shakti, from a word, Shakti happens. And when we have that word, like atoms together to a molecule to together a compound, and then what happens, right? A substance and all. Similarly, when all these words, bombard or collide with each other, then we have a story. And then for that story, we need to breathe life into the story. That's where the intention comes in. And when the intention is there, the universe is definitely watching, and you give that, the universe gives it, because what you ask, you get, and what you sow is what you reap. So the words that you're putting in, right? But the story is there, the intention is there, the universe is going to give. But what emotion have we breathed into the words also defines the word Shakti. Either it could create yet another Shakti, or it could be the reason for the destruction too. So how we use Shakti is such an important thing. Okay, so why are we talking about Shakti? Someone want to spill the beans over here and say why?
Yeah.
Why
Let me go first, because
Yes,
it's all
Susan.
about it's actually all about what Gayatri was saying about the universe's intention, because it started off in a tiny little group in the IIM WSP cohort in Bangalore. We were talking about how do we celebrate Women's Day? Shall we go for a walk in the park, or shall we go out for some kind of a brunch? And then for some strange reason, maybe the universe's intention, for the first time I typed in, let's do a book instead, almost expecting everyone else to ignore it, right? And say, okay, this woman's crazy, we can't do it, right? But strangely, a lot of people responded, and then we started talking about the book. And then, when we were talking within the Bangalore group, Vinya, for instance, said, hey, we should not keep it within the Bangalore group.
I'm
Let's
going to hold
open
you
it out.
there. I'm going to hold you there. Now I'm going to grab hold of Vinya. What did you say?
Yeah. Go ahead, Vinya.
I like how Mira's roping everyone in. Yeah, so, when Prasanna brought it up, I think all of us were excited in the group. And then I said it'll be nice for us to include a wider cohort because we have a cohort all over India. And for instance, Ananya is not in Bangalore. The rest of us are. So I thought it'll be great for all of us to take part in this together. And there are such amazing stories. It'll be such a wonderful way for us to bring all those stories to light.
Yes.
And that's how this whole project started. And it's just been amazing how, I'm sure Ananya will share, right? Like she was talking about the story that she's been reading. I can pass it on to her if you want me to.
Yes, definitely. Yes,
So
Ananya.
I think I would first like to thank all these lovely ladies. Bangalore. I've recently been hearing the phrase a lot that there's something in the air of Bangalore, and I would have to agree. Okay, but Delhi wala are getting the cake as well as the cherry. Because I'm so happy that I'm getting to put together and to fine tune all these amazing stories. And like I said, when you give me a set of words, I either take life, I bring life to it, or share share the inspiration that's coming from them. And trust me, it was after having processed 1,500 books and countless manuscripts, I've become immune to this whole wow element that because I've done so many business stories, I've done so many stories of personal triumph that it doesn't feel like that anymore. You come and tell me, oh, I built another unicorn, and I'll be like, yeah. Okay, you tell me, oh, I sprung up from such difficult times on the personal front, and I'll be like, okay, great, good, more power to you. Okay, but in this cohort, I did find stories that made me cry. Yesterday I got off the call with somebody, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to do this story. This is crazy. I'm having goosebumps as I'm talking about it.
I could feel
Okay,
that.
it's so beautiful, and I'm so glad that all of us could put it together. Susan, she's a people's person, so she went out, and so she got everybody on the bandwagon. Gayatri supported in her way, so did Vinya. The whole idea started flowing from Prasanna's, and so and you will not believe, we're just 5 of us here, but there are like 25 people working behind the scenes to make it happen. And oh my god, the readers, I don't know, there's no way, we're not Hansika Motwani or Malaika Arora to have shot all of it, but it has been one crazy ride, and what an amazing ride.
Okay.
So yeah,
nice to hear your names also there. We should definitely talk about them after our recording. You got it, Ananya?
yeah, certainly.
Oh my god, Gayatri.
Mira, when I just thought about we're all women, Women's Day is coming up, and I just posted on Bangalore group, should we do something for Women's Day? When I posted that simple sentence, even in my dreams, I didn't think it would turn out into such a big project, which is a lifetime memory for all of us.
I could feel that even now. I could feel that now. Seriously.
I'm super excited. I thought it would be either a lunch, dinner, or let's go shopping, or
and we'll say Happy Women's Day.
But the whole thing turned out to be a huge experience, and for me it's a lifetime memory. That book is going to be a lifetime memory.
Definitely. It does. And we all know Susan, one message from Susan and we all will be like, hey, get up, Susan, let's get a message, let's get into this. That's exactly how I actually connect with Susan. It's not like I don't respond to others' message. Sometime back also, somebody had tagged in our WhatsApp group. Please tag that person who doesn't check WhatsApp often. Please tag that person. Might be you think can also be part of this book. And I was tagged in that. I was like, okay, let me wake up. And as soon as Susan's message came, immediately I was like, okay, get up, get into this. And I just then Gayatri got in touch with me. And then I asked her, Gayatri, there are lots of things happening. I saw one message from Prasanna about book. I thought, okay, like Prasanna, like you mentioned, right? You might not. Then I was like, Hoga, people might respond 10, 15 people. But after some time, end of the day, when I'm just opening my phone and I'm just checking, I kind of missed around 200 or 300 messages. And there was only thread over here. I mean, phenomenal. I'm just telling. So, Susan, you want to add your bit over here about this?
Yeah.
Coming.
It was, I mean, it was Shakti for me. So yeah, I honestly, when I started connecting with people here, I never thought that, people would give me this type of love. I mostly don't feel I deserve it, but then people respond to me for whatever reason. When we started this whole thing, the first message I put in response to, I was the first one to respond to Prasanna's message on, shall we do a book? The first thing I said was, collecting entries will be a bitch. That was my first response to it. I was like, I love the idea of a book, but how the hell are we going to collect all the entries? Then I saw everyone getting excited, and I said, oh yes, it's possible. We just, my idea was, we'll have a team of 10, 15 people. 10, 15 people will get 2 people each. And when we started, I told Prasanna, I said, 75 will be below expectations, 100 will be meets expectation, 150 will be exceeds expectation. Because I come from an HR background. Background.
Guys,
so I clearly defined it.
I'm sure Susan all will agree. HR. You remember we used to have that appraisal, meet expectation.
It has to be goal based, it has to be measurable, and it has to be realistic, whatever.
Oh no, you're gonna get into OKR of Shakti now.
And from there, when we crossed 150, when we were hitting 200, I was over the moon. I was like, my God, I never thought we were going to hit these numbers. I didn't think that it was a possibility. And having played a part in getting people together and mobilizing it and whatever, of course, there were a lot of moments of doubt when I was like, shit, if somebody spammed me like this, I would have blocked this person, I would have exited this group. She have constantly posting there, come on, do this. And but despite that, that's why I felt I'm not worthy of this love or this, whatever is being given. So
no, the Shakti tribe hates to listen to that. No, definitely not. You. I mean, you or all of us should get more than what we're doing. Okay,
I'd like to add to that. Meera, I'll just let you in on this little thing.
Sure.
So at 11 p.m. at night, Susan and I, we're having a conversation, and Susan is frantically texting in all the other groups, and I'm wondering how many hands she has, okay? Because I'm talking to her and I can see my phone go ding, 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 okay? And then I'm like, what are you doing? And she says that either I'll die or we'll touch 200 tonight. And we're sitting on 215 right now. So brilliant effort.
I think each of us on a Zoom screen, we can just punch like this each other. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
or like this.
Too many of them.
That is Wakanda forever. We're not going there.
Yes.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shakti forever.
We can do this. Also, I just wanted to add, right? See,
Sure.
we have many people who are actually not active on WhatsApp. But we also have people who are on WhatsApp who don't check their messages.
Okay.
So what I love
I already told my name.
Yeah, right. Like what you said. So what I love about what we did is, see, for me, the reason why I came in is I wanted to make sure that as many people could share their story. That was, how can we bring more people into this, and there are so many people who keep doing behind the scenes work, people who do a lot of things, but it's great that some of us have the strength. Like, for example, Susan, and I keep telling Susan this, I think what I love about her is she's able to, she can claim space, right? And I love that about her. And I wish many people can take that. It's very important as a woman to claim space. And she does it. And she does it with gusto. And there are some of us who are not able to. And what I think for me, this whole project, right, is how do we bring those people who have such amazing stories? How do we bring those to life? Like what Ananya was telling us about the women's story that she shared yesterday. So, we made a list. I remember Prasna sent in a list, and then we were like looking at the numbers, calling different people. We are like, hey, we'll write your story for you. Just say it to us. So we've just
I
been.
know.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
didn't know it was you. I texted Meera too. And I'm like, Meera, you're like the story queen, girl. Where's your story?
I remember getting that call. Vinya, I'm so sorry, I just interrupted your flow, but just keep that locked in your neurons so that you don't forget. I was still pinching myself and asking, was it a call or a message? I'm just going through my WhatsApp. No, Vinya called. No, Vinya sent me a message. No, Vinya called. No, Vinya. And then I was like, my daughter, she just, Amma, you just stop it. What you are supposed to do that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, let me just add here, a lot of those numbers, lot of those stories got told because there were people like Vinya, and I'm going to take the name
Yes.
of somebody who's not on this call, Kiran. These guys sat and, worked the phone and, putting everything else aside. I mean, we've all got ventures to run. We've all got our own businesses, but they put everything aside and made time for this. They made time to call up people, write for them. I think a couple of days back, I was forwarding voice notes to Vinya saying, Vinya, please do something with this.
And what a story
People are
that
sending me
was, right,
voice notes.
Susan? Imagine we would have
Yeah,
missed that
amazing
story if she didn't tell us.
Yeah. And there were people coming back to us like this, that, write my story, but I don't have time to write it myself. I'm busy with something. I'm going through something right now. I won't be able to write my story. I have one person giving me an entry today who's been going through a lot of emotional turmoil over the last few days, with some personal problems. And she's been, please, can I give it today? I said, give it to me. If you're working through all this and trying to get back with the story, then please just give it.
Yeah.
So
People like them, people like Vinya, Kiran, who've gotten in those numbers.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add to that in the sense that, it's not just the process. The process is actually a venture on its own, right? But it's more about what the process stands for, and that's why Shakti is important. And that's why, the entire concept is so interesting, because if you look at, our entrepreneurial ecosystem itself, right? The voices and the ideas that we as women bring in, are mostly invisible, but they are so critical in the world that we live in today. If you look at, we all talked about resilience. Resilience is crucial to any startup succeeding. And who better understands resilience than all of the women in our cohort, right? And the other aspect, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was saying, if you listen to all our stories, if you read the stories, it's not just about short-term, valuations. It's not about money. It's about long-term sustainable growth. It's about a better world. And I believe that voice is so important.
Absolutely.
The world, the startup ecosystem needs to hear that today. They need to hear that it's important for us to better the world and while we make money. And so that is why our stories are so critical, right? And I personally believe, I was telling the girls the other day that, the book is for us for now, but the book is as important for the larger ecosystem, because they have to, look at these points of view, and they have to learn from these points of view. We're not some cutesy, by the way, side hustle. Because that's another thing that I hear often, the patronizing, okay, women startups, side hustle, baking from your kitchen. No, we are not just that, right? We are very clear that we
give it wholesome. Doesn't matter, is it from the gallery, is it from the balcony, is it from the bedroom, or is it from the kitchen, or even if it's from the washroom for that matter. Whatever stories have been cooked, those stories are real. The stories might become old, they might look fresh, they might be new, but they never die.
No, that's true. And whatever businesses we are running, just a point, whatever businesses we are running are also not cutesy. Whatever businesses we are running are important in the world, that we are going to go into. So that's all there was to it.
Thanks.
And
You know what?
I'd like to add to that. Sorry, Meera, I'm very, very enthusiastic about adding this. I
Please
want to
go
let all
ahead.
your leaders, all your listeners know this, that a lot of women and enterprises from the NSRCEL, from the women starter programs have made it to the Shark Tank. So
Yes.
the world is recognizing it, that it's no more a side
Absolutely.
hustle. So,
Absolutely.
and I think which is why the whole system has now started acknowledging and looking at women entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, Ananya. Yes.
Yeah, I think
So
we
as-
lost it for a second.
As Ananya would be joining in, I had actually requested Vinya to lock that she was about to share within her neurons so that it doesn't spill over anywhere. So Vinya, yes.
Happy to share about it. So basically, when we were making calls, I was texting a few people and saying we want your story. So it
Yeah.
was so amazing to see how they would start with saying, I don't really have something to say. My venture is in the beginning stage. It's in my head. And I'll be like, okay, let's talk about it. And then when they send it to me, I'm like, girl, what in the world were you thinking? You have such an amazing story and you're doing something so amazing. So I think most often, right, this is like the elephant. I'm sure all of you have heard this, but I love saying this. These elephants get chained with a, have you guys heard this? They get
Yeah.
chained with a metal.
Yeah.
And then what happens is as the elephant grows, it outgrows the chain, but the poor elephant is so conditioned to the chain, it has no idea it can break those shackles. I just,
Absolutely.
right? So it's like that. I think somewhere our limitations are so self-imposed and it's so important to think of it. And I want to say, when Gayatri took on the launch thing with her team, I love what you guys have been doing with bringing all the girls to share and doing the whole Shakti video. Absolutely cool,
Oh
Gayatri.
yeah, I'm part of that team, I should say.
Yes. And oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I didn't know that. Meera, but
No.
wonderful.
We
Wonderful.
brought in Meera for the podcast.
Yes.
Wow.
And much more. It should be much more. But just taking forward from what Vinya was saying, there is this realization that we have to be our own megaphone.
Yeah.
We have to be our own megaphone because what we have and what we can share and what we can make of what we share is very powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the spirit behind the Shakti. So
Absolutely, absolutely, Prasanna.
Meera, I have something
As-
to add here.
Yes,
so when
Gayatri.
Susan and Prasanna passed on a few numbers for me to connect, right? So it was 10:30 in the night. I was telling Susan I will do it tomorrow morning. So she said, no, do it now. So I messaged one of the numbers with and the status was like, not could understand she was not active on WhatsApp. 11 o'clock in the night, I'm calling some person and saying, hey, this is Gayatri from WSP. And like in Manme, I'm thinking like, am I going to be yelled? Am I going to be, heard? Right? Then she said, oh, okay, WSP, the excitement. Like, when she heard WSP, the excitement in her voice was something like, giving that energy to me. Okay, I can do this, right?
I can
So
go on now.
she said, can I submit it tomorrow? I'm putting my kids down to bed. They're not well. Can I submit it tomorrow? I'm like, yeah. And next day morning, I get a message from her. I submitted.
Aha.
Yeah.
That's so nice, right?
So, satisfying, right? So it's
I swear.
like, the
So you
whole
can-
memory.
Yeah,
is-
Susan, what we can do is we can have Gayatri call as many people as possible, 11 p.m.
Meera, you also made calls for me. So just to add here, so I sent a list of numbers to Meera also. So I picked up the biggest list of numbers and then happily distributed amongst people whom I could count on. I said, Meera, here's your list. Make calls. And this was all at 10:30 in the night.
And,
Yeah,
and just to add to that view, there is also a science behind the list, because what we did was, it was not a blind list. We actually did some technology there and we identified people. So we have about 300 plus in the cohort, right? So we identified people that, that have not responded, that have responded. We did our technology bit. So we went down. So we are running like an organization will run. So it's not just us calling, it's not just the idea, it's the entire content team. So if you see what Ananya with, what what the entire content edit team, the design team, the ebook team, all of them are doing. It's absolutely stunning. So
Absolutely.
within 2 weeks, we have almost about close to 30 women working like clockwork, a well-oiled machine. So
Yeah.
within 2 weeks, we have a book. Yeah, I mean, in Ananya, I'm sure in a publishing world, that's kind of an achievement, right?
Pulling back Ananya. Hey Ananya, you were
Hi.
sharing. Yes, hi.
Yes. So I was saying that I'm sorry I dropped off in between, but
That's
I was
absolutely
saying
fine.
that people have started recognizing women founders. They
Hmm.
started recognizing that women, like Prasanna said, can do tech. Women can do production. Women can do
Absolutely.
marketing. Women can do everything. Bloody hell, if a woman can bring you out of her own self, then she can very well do everything.
Absolutely.
Even Shiv doesn't exist without Shakti, right? We're gonna have a mega celebration 2 days later for Shivaratri. And I
Yeah.
think this is what I'm just gonna extend this to that I think people have started accepting that this is no more a male dominated society. However, we still do battle the shackles of we were still fighting that, but yes,
Outside the
it's
bracket,
better placed
it
today.
does happen.
Yes, yes. Now who's not a feminist is kind of losing out.
Ananya, just to add over there, more than people, society accepting, many a times what I have felt is women have been the reason for the women rise or fall. Many women, when I say could be from any walk of life, I still remember, when I used to take my little one to drop her at a school or pick her back. Conversation used to be like, "Huh, woman, you're not working, right? What are you gonna do? Just gonna go home? You're gonna just, check your phone, or you're gonna do this?" I'm like, even that also matters. You get a privilege to go back and check your phone. You create that particular space for you to check your phone. Why do you really have to wait for someone to leave to take your phone and check? I mean, it is, that kind of an acceptance have started coming in from our own women. I think that's the first Shakti we have to really celebrate or accept, or I'm sorry, acknowledge that that's the first thing that needs to happen for that matter. All right, so much of
Yeah.
Shakti.
So
I mean,
yeah,
yes,
I just wanted to add one point,
please.
Mira, because what I have realized in my career and the life that I've led and all the women I've met is there. What you just shared in terms of women have to support women. In reality, I've realized that women do support women. So
I
today, where I am is only because of not only the women in my family, but all the women I've worked with, all the
Great.
women that have mentored me. And all we need to do is we need to ingrain that thought process, because sometimes,
Absolutely.
yeah, so even when I got married and my mother-in-law and I were so different as people, we sat down and had this conversation where I said, I want to be there for you, and that changed everything. So I feel that we just have to tell that to each other more
Absolutely.
more often than we do, that we are there for each other, and we have to show that in action. That's
Yeah.
the way I look at it.
So true, so true. I mean, in my personal life also, several things started working the way I wanted it to be. When I say when I wanted it to be, the acceptance started coming in when we actually pulled on a conversation and said few things are different, but that difference should not affect the purpose.
Yes.
Adding that intention, universe to purpose over here. Shakti is all about connecting that purpose in our life also. Purpose could be anything. Like for example, it really took a while, when I was hitting my 40, like that's when I realized that okay, let me create something called purpose. I went around here and then nothing happened. I fell flat, nose flat, everything flat, got up again, just like the penguins does, right? To penguin, they fall, or if in case they want to, check if they can jump into this water, they kick the other one. But I couldn't do that. I just kicked myself. Again, I fell. I just got up, and that's when I realized, okay, there's something called purpose that comes out. It is not something which you just Google about it or you go search about it and put it. And it really took a while, and that's when I really got to understand that my purpose is all about transforming the words and emotions into stories that could create that emotional and mental well-being. अरे बाबा mental well-being हो गया, इसके बाद क्या? That would be the question by people, right? Once emotion, go about creating what you want to create as a brand.
Absolutely. And I think today we live in a world where brands tell stories and
Yes.
individuals, where brands tell stories to sell their products and individuals tell stories to build their brands.
Yes.
So it's kind of all coming together. And more than anything, I think today storytelling is very crucial. Why? Because it's important to stay relevant. With
Yeah.
so much fighting for our energy and so much fight. And now it's no more the phrase that getting eyeballs, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we are taking inputs every which way. We're taking input through our ears, we're taking input through our eyes, our brain is overstimulated. So how do you create something which kind of stays, which stands so much of external stimulation and still be relevant? And like they say that, Shiva is static and Shakti is dynamic. I'd like to sort of conclude from both what Prasanna and you shared. I think there has been an evolution, and that is the dynamism, that's the dynamism that the word Shakti reflects. And it's not just about women, it's about men as well.
Yes.
It's about the world, a world coming together to form a better place for each and everyone, to allow for more. Okay, although there have been experiments to migrate to another planet, I'm sure that's happening sometime in the future.
We will go there and create yet another Shakti.
Yes. Absolutely. But having a career spanning over 16 years, when I started out, I did feel that women were not standing up for each other. Maybe because there have been, it has been a community that has been suppressed for so long that in wanting to fight for justice, they didn't know, they could not identify what to fight and where to fight.
Or
And-
who to fight.
Yeah, or who to fight. So I think that also I've seen as a transition. And today, I mean, at least I've done my bit. At Kitaba, we are 100% women team. Okay, we don't have men. I mean, I don't have anything against the male folks, but we're trying to empower women and trying to give them a center stage to, come out of their shells and do better. And I think women can tell so many more stories and in so many more different ways.
Absolutely.
Just taking forward what Ananya was saying in the business
Please.
context, right? In the business context, there are two things that still irk me, but two very positive things too. For instance, what Ananya was saying, that's become the norm. When women start their own businesses, it's been seen that they hire more women, and they empower more women. So that's a very, very positive thing. But having said that, the biggest issue that I have, and the concern I have is we still get the least amount of capital in the world. So I hate to hear the word microfinance. So when they talk about microfinance, they kind of, I mean, when I say I hate, the reason I hate it is somehow they associate it with us. The big bucks, the big businesses, that's somehow not very woman friendly, right? Or woman aligned in most cases. And what I'm hoping for is that we get more women in the venture cap, more women coming there so that, we can get
Absolutely.
more of us funded, in the right.
Oh,
I just want to
absolutely. Yes.
piggyback on that, Meera, if I may, and just
Please,
say,
Vinaya,
what
please
Prasanna shared about capital, right? Financial capital. I'm part of this community called Service Space. It's amazing. It's a story for another day. But then,
Definitely.
one of my inspiring mentor there, he always says there are different types of capital: social capital, emotional capital, right? There are so many different types of capital, and finance is one type of capital. But I think what's beautiful about what we're building here is the social capital. And right, it's just amazing, the social currency we've built here, and also the kind of confidence we give in each other. I said something earlier about Susan, right? Like about how she claims space. That's beautiful because honestly, that's something I couldn't do as a woman, right? I'm always thinking, okay, I should give space to another person. But I love how she takes space and I'm like, okay, Susan, let's balance each other. So what I'm trying to say is it's so important for us to think of the different kinds of capital we can garner, and especially as women. And going back to what you said about being women, we can pull each other down or we can build each other up, right? It's just amazing the kind of power we have. So to sisterhood.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let me also chime in
Sisterhood,
on
yes.
this, okay? Because I also always have something to say, my 2 bits. So it's and
Creating
it's
space, creating
important.
space.
Yeah. So here I am taking my space again, Vinya. So
Please do. I love you for it.
so
Boy.
I always believe that, as women, when we do this, we need to create a safe place for women who are unable to come forward and say something or do something. It becomes the give back that we can do in this, right?
Absolutely.
We need to create a safe space, be it in a conversation, be it in a workplace, be it in any place, right? So we need to create a space where other women feel comfortable coming out and saying something, being themselves, being able to ask questions without without judgment. I know a lot of women who have a lot of questions, but maybe about anything. It could be about it could be about how finance is handled. It could be about how do I navigate this particular tool in technology. I have I have WhatsApp. I don't know how to use all the features. Whatever, from the smallest thing to the biggest thing.
True.
I feel we need to create those spaces where we are able to answer those questions for people, so that the confidence that people get when their questions are answered and when you are kind to them while answering those questions helps to empower them to go out and ask those questions elsewhere. So
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
safe space needs to be created. And that's why, I mean, because we're all from the same cohort, I want to say about how much I love being part of that cohort, because there is that safe space that has been created there. There are so many women you could ask any stupid questions. This morning I saw a question. Normally we discuss business there. This morning, guys, I'm fed up of eating the same snacks. Please tell me what else could I eat? And there was loads of suggestions, because everybody's
Yeah, I
talking
saw
about
that.
yeah, so everyone's
Yeah.
talking about what snacks to eat. And I was so happy. I was like, okay, we've not created something where people are feeling pressurized that they can ask only one sort of questions. We've created a space where people can come in and say, hey, I'm fed up of eating this, what can I eat today?
Exactly.
And that is important in any community. And while as a sisterhood we are trying to do something, I also think it's important for us to create that space.
Yeah, and just to
So
take
I'm
that
adding on
forward
to
and
this.
sorry, yes, Gayatri, go ahead.
I'm adding on to Susan's thing. Today morning, I
Yes,
shared,
Gayatri.
I crossed 1,000 followers on LinkedIn. The look,
I
on my
Yay,
husband,
yes.
the look on my husband's face was like, okay,
Yes.
so what? And he just went off. So immediately I posted on our group, and everybody were like, loving it. Thank you.
We were pouring love.
Congratulations. Mira's gif was like, I'm pouring love for you. Right, it's
And
so good to have that tribe and who understands that small gains. Maybe for others it's not big, but who appreciate or who congratulate
Acknowledgement,
each
right?
other.
It's that acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Yes, that
Validation.
acknowledgement is only so much.
Yeah.
Like you show
Even
those
I
little
know it
hearts
is
in
not
face,
big.
like this, the little heart. It's
The
too
Korean
much.
little heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
but one thing I want to add, it's not just we that thrive in that acknowledgement, even the men do, and the reason why I really like what the way we approach life is, the way we do and run our businesses is also very different from this so-called cookie cutter approach, So we are nurturers, naturally. So we sit and listen to everybody in our team. So one day, you're talking about AI. The next minute, you're talking about, what snack to have, and maybe you should be talking to this girl this way, you kind of it's a community, it's a family, right? And I think that way of looking at business and running a company differently is also something that we bring as a huge strength.
Absolutely.
That's something that I've observed in most of the women that I've worked with.
Absolutely.
It's not acknowledged as much, but now the world is acknowledging it more and more, that we do things fabulously and we do it different.
And
so many people are doing such amazing things in this cohort.
Ananya.
I've been requesting everyone in the tech field to invent a teleporter because I want to be everywhere.
Just adding to that bit, like normalizing, it's all about normalizing. I mean, I still remember 15, 20 years back, like if someone says, oh, this woman, they used to say this woman works for a software company. What? This woman works for a software company, it used to, but today it's normalized that we all speak about cryptocurrencies. We speak about blockchain. We speak about so many upcoming financial, because in our own cohort, I wish to, mention over here, such a wonderful sisterhood, the sisterhood, what you call it, such a wonderful connect we have. We all know that we are here with a purpose to take our venture from the seed to the, to the growth stage or to the revenue stage, or beyond that to the funding or whatever you call it. It's kind of a competition, not like earlier where we used to hide our data, where we used to hide things. What if I tell this to this person, she or he might get, but it's just not the case now. Even in my plate, if I have one roti, when somebody is asking, we go to an extent that don't worry, I'll give you at least half the roti. I'll also make an arrangement for you that you can get some more from this person. So it's about nudging each other, where that is the energy, right? This energy is all about creating, right? This energy, it's about creating not only that sisterhood, it is about creating yet another energy, which is going to help people to create what they want to create.
And create a better world.
Absolutely. And definitely a moment to say thank you, NSRCEL, WSP for all the WSP program, and IIMB. I mean, I don't think we guys would have met here and we would have thought about taking our Shakti into a Shakti in the garland of words, and that's going to walk in front of your eyes in the form of an ebook and lots more.
Definitely.
Thanks to you,
Wonderful.
Meera.
Thank you so much, Meera. Just one
Meera.
last word. I want to give a shout out to the beautiful team that's behind this book. You will meet them in the next session that you're going to host, Meera.
Yes.
But upfront, a huge shout out to the large Shakti team.
Definitely.
And to you, Meera, for weaving our story so beautifully together and for bringing all our voices to life with such amazing energy. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you,
Guys, I
Meera.
have
Thank you
to
for having
mention
all
this
of us.
here. I have to mention this here. I call Meera. Can you do a podcast? You know what she said? You can't ask me. You have to tell me you are doing a podcast. Sweet of her, because I have reached out to many people for the launch. She was very, very, very supportive. She said, no, this is our project. So you can't be asking me anything. You have to be telling me.
Your journey thodi na end hone wala hai. We just started a couple of yet another milestones. Lots more to do. You guys are going to make me cry.
So I look forward to meeting all of you girls in person.
We will jam up.
Yeah, everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not ending it.
Oh, you're not ending it yet. Okay, I thought you were going to
Sorry,
ask us
we thought that
bye.
was
In my
I thought we were
announcement,
done.
I haven't.
No,
put my
how,
announcement.
oh, I you know what? Okay. Okay. When I say Shakti, what one word to me is it's everything. I would say to me, for example, on spot, a rapid fire. It's everything. Like, let me ask Susan, what would Shakti mean to you? Just in one word.
Vitality.
Gayatri.
Self-love.
Areva. Prasanna.
Thrive.
There you are. Ananya.
Alive.
Okay. Vinya.
intentional cultivation.
Wow.
Sorry, that was 2 words. I'll make it 1 word, intention.
It doesn't matter. It's about the power. It's about the energy that we get, Now here's probably, whenever I have my sessions or my connect or in the community connect when we have, a meeting should not end just within that bracket that we laughed, we smiled, we jumped, or we cried, or we shared what we wanted to, and we've been that vulnerable side of ours also, we have suppressed it. What, it is not about moral of the story, but the words that you shared, how about anchoring them with you whenever you feel, like, no, this is really challenging. Can we think about our life? Can we think about thrive? Can we think about vitality? Can we think about self-love? And of course, to cultivate all of this. Hannah Vinya.
Beautiful.
So here my gift to each of you for coming for Kaapi and Coffee. Oh, but I serve coffee to you guys.
Yeah, I've been having mine.
So here is a virtual. Can we just show this? A virtual coffee and then.
That was tasty.
Okay, we just can hold this sign for a while.
like
We can take a screenshot, I'll take it once the recording, yes. So thanks to each of you, adding a note over here. We are from WSP 4 NSRCEL IIMB cohort, and we met for our pre-incubation, heading towards incubation. And all of us are at the different stages with regards to our venture. That venture which we thought is just an idea, that venture which we thought it is just yet another word that has been weaving in our mind. That venture or that brand, what stands today in the name as brand, what could have been sometimes our childhood dream or something that we were challenged to. And we took and we are taking NSRCEL IIMB and the mentorship support, also the cohort, the Sister Connect support to take it to the next level. Each of us are at different stages. For example, one of my coach mentions this example and I wish to share that. We want to board a flight. There is one person who's just started from his house. There is another person, she just took a car towards the airport. There is one person who's waiting in the boarding point. And there is one person who's already boarded the plane. And there is one person who started flying. So it is just like that. We, all of us are at different stages with regards to our life, our aspirations, desire, energy, the Shakti, or the venture, the brand, the creating aspect that we want to. We all are creators. I mean, we all are creators for that matter. So it's about accepting that we all are at different stages, but we all meet at one point to share that bit of a happiness, that bit of a learning, that bit of an energy to pull each other. And we call this as, let's say, Shakti. 1, 2, 3. We call this as
Shakti.
Shakti. So Shakti is our upcoming book by WSP 4 batch of NSRCEL IIM Bangalore, and it is going to hit the online book shelf soon. You guys want to mention a date or something? Or
March 8th.
March 8th.
March 8th to celebrate Women's Day.
Yes, yes. And it's not
To
just
celebrate
online,
Shakti.
you can also have it offline. You can also have it as a
You
physical.
can get a physical copy as well.
All right. So it's going to be e-copy. It's going to be a physical copy too. It's going to be launched on Women's Day, March 8th, 2023. Shakti. We are Tribe Shakti. You know what, guys? As I'm going to hit on the record button pause, I would invite you all to stay there on the screen, because let's catch up on a little more.
Okay.
थोड़ा camera के बाहर भी.
Okay. After the show, is it?
Yeah, and you guys want to give a shout out to our NSRCEL IIMB hip hip hooray.
Sure.
NSRCEL
Hip hip
IIMB
Hip hip hooray.
Hip hip hooray.
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 No.
And to the entire WSP,
Yeah.
upcoming WSP, the current team, the previous team, all. It's a wonderful journey we guys are having, and we wish to pass on this energy to you all, that go and check NSRCEL IIMB website. You may never know what is there for you. Yeah, thank you to all of you. We'll be catching up with yet another Kaapi and Conversation. This is Meera signing off. I don't wish to end the show, but yes, we end to start yet another beginning. Thank you.